everyone to the Yarn Journey Crochet Podcast. My name is Holly. I am the host. I am not sure what episode this is, so this is a podcast about crocheting, knitting, the yarn I'm hoarding, shop updates, and occasionally some other random things I like to throw in and tell you guys about. I am in North Carolina with my family. For all new subscribers, hello. Welcome. Sorry I haven't been as active as usual. And for all those returning viewers and subscribers, thank you for sticking around in my very unplanned podcast schedule right now. I know it's a little bit out there. So I'm actually sitting down to do a proper podcast because I finally got a memory card for my phone, so now I could film something that is longer than 5 minutes. So, in true podcaster fashion, it is a gloomy day out today, and I am currently sitting on the floor instead of where I usually sit because my husband took my chair so he could game last night and forgot to return it upstairs. So instead of, excuse me, it wouldn't be a Yarn Journey podcast without a burp. Sorry. Anyways, it is gloomy out and it is still pretty stinking warm. It's in the 80s and humid. We've had some really crummy weather. It got really hot and then we got storms. So yeah. And I just learned out that Eastern North Carolina is in a drought. Who knew? So I am sipping on some of my Peet's coffee that I am, oh my god, in love with right now. It is so good, and I'm drinking in my North Carolina Starbucks mug. I know some people collect these even if they haven't been there, but I bought this because I feel like since California, where I grew up, this is the first place that's actually felt like home, which is really nice, so I wanted to commemorate that with a mug, and I love mugs. I love them. Oh my gosh, I am looking so cakey today. Wow. I forgot setting spray. Oh, that coffee is so good. So good. Okay, so it has been almost a month since I have seen you guys. I'm sorry. I just don't know where time went. I mean, May was here and gone. I mean, it's June 2nd today. It is a Sunday. And I am just like, where did time go? I don't know. But, yeah. And I've been really busy because after finally being diagnosed with gluten intolerance, not celiac, thankfully, but I still get a bad autoimmune response when I have wheat products, rye, barley, mainly wheat because I loved bread. But since doing that, okay, we will get to this in life stuff. Come on, girl, get it together. You guys are here for the yarn. So, let me just say, life has been busy. I haven't gotten a lot done, but I have gotten some things done. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what to do with this hair. I took a shower and it's just, yeah. So, first things first, I will show my sea glass. I haven't gotten to work on this as much as I would have liked. It has been slow going. Yeah, so I basically started, wait, no, that is, what is going on here? It is just stabbed through all kinds of places. So, I have some incense going, and got really smoky all of a sudden. Go that way. Like, out of nowhere, super smoky, like, in my face. So, there's cat hair all over this, because every time I pull it out, my cat wants to, sit on me. So, I haven't gotten far. I finally started the increases. I've probably put, since you guys last seen it, let me see. my handy dandy paper where I mark off all of my rows, I've put about 11-ish rows on it, which sounds like that's decent, right? But it doesn't translate all that well. So this has been a slow going process. I am so sorry. But I still love it. I just wish I had more time to work on it. And now that we're getting to increases, stitch counts increasing, so obviously increases. But I'll tell you one thing, because my stitch count is pretty funky at this point, I probably won't be doing the lace bit at the bottom because it has to have a certain amount for the repeat. So I don't know if I have that. But oh God, I want to wear this so bad, which I still think it's going to be like a little too long in the armpits, but at this point I really don't care. Like, if I could wear it and it's going to fit, if my bra shows, it's summer, I really don't give two hoots if my bra shows. It is hot. So yeah, I really want to wear this. The yarn I am using is Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in the Raven Tonal colorway. And this, let me get the picture for you guys, is the, if I can find it, this is the Sea Glass. Good gravy. This is the Sea Glass Racerback tank. Here's a couple pictures of it. Racerback tank by Megan Reagan of the Bad Wolf Girl Studios. She also has the Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. So yeah. I wish I've gotten more work done on this. 11 rows sounds like a lot, but when you're using fingering weight yarn and you're doing a shirt, it doesn't translate to much. So actually, this is my stitch marker from last time. Let me just move it now, so next podcast, whenever that will be, I'll know exactly where I was at. So that is my Sea Glass. I don't know what's been going on, but like knitting's been my jam lately. I think probably because I've actually had success lately, that it's like when you finally get a craft down to where you can actually make something wearable without having holes or really messed up stitches, like you just want to make all the things in that craft, which I know this is a crochet podcast, but when you get excited to learn something new and you learn it, oh God, you just don't want to stop. So my next object, actually is technically a hoe, is my mother-in-law's socks that I am using. I've lost the picture. Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. She has sock patterns, and I know her patterns are typically cuff down, heel flap and gusset, Kitchener the toe. Which, I always said I didn't want to do heel flap and gusset because I don't like Kitchener, but when I did my afterthought heels, I still had to Kitchener the heel closed. And I really wasn't a big fan of heel flap and gusset the first time around that I tried it, because I just butchered it like so bad that I was just like, I'm not doing it again. But as I said in the previous podcast, Christina of the Blissful Stitch podcast, wow, I'm saying podcast a lot. She inspired me to try cuff down, heel flap, and gusset, because she's a fairly new knitter as well. And she did hers, and they came out beautiful, and I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. So, I have a hoe. None of the ends are sewn in yet, so please pardon the miss. So this is the first sock, which is supposed to fit my mother-in-law's foot, who has a 6.5, 7 foot. So this is the Morning Coffee Socks by Kay. I am totally blanking on her last name. The yarn is my hand-dyed yarn, Sleepy Fox Yarn Co. in the Fairy Season colorway, which I just have to say, I love the way it's coming out. I will say, I used too much green on this one, but overall, I just love the way the speckles came out. So, one sock done, and I'm about this far on the second sock. So I got the cuff done, and I'm working on the leg. I will say I did modify the pattern because I tried working her cuff, I would say like 3 or 4 times before I gave up on it. Only because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I'm still working on my tensioning, and I was having tension issues with that, and when I would use it, like her cuff stitches or whatever, it was just way too tight. Like there was no give at all. And I'm like, my mother-in-law would never be able to put her sock on if I did it. So I just did a standard 1x1 rib, but everything else is the pattern to a T. I did not change anything except the cuff, because I knew I could do the cuff and it wouldn't affect the sock. So yeah. These are 2.25 millimeter needles. I think that's a size 1. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the numbers or letters of crochet hooks or needles. I just don't. I go by millimeters because it's easier, because then there is no variation. Especially with hooks, because there's sometimes when they're like, oh, use a J hook, and then there's like 4 different sizes of J's, and you're like, well, which size? I don't know. Anyways. So that is my morning coffee socks that I am making for my mother-in-law, which I actually started on the last podcast when I was talking to you guys, but I was like, yeah, it's taken a while, a little bit longer than I expected to get these socks done, but like I said, I've just been busy with life, mom stuff, business stuff, everything. So yes, the next one will be a frogged. It will be frogged because I love the way it was coming out. It was not that fun for me to make. I will say that. I will be honest with that. It is not that fun for me to make. As much as I love the way it looks and it's the way it's coming out, Tunisian crochet is just not my thing. Well, at least not with the big long hooks. Like if I had like a normal size hook with a cable attached, might work better, but I don't have any of those yet. And I'm still willing to give that a try. But it has killed my wrist making this, and I didn't even finish. I got about, I would say about a 1/4 of the way. And then Colin like tangled everything, which I looked at this and I was like, no way. Anyways, I believe it is called the Sweet Strauss Baby Blanket. I will link everything below. I know I said that in the last podcast, and for some reason I just completely ignored what I said, but it will be all linked down below. So, this is the Sweet Strauss Baby Blanket, which is all Tunisian crochet. Simple stitch. It's super easy to do. It's just, oh god, it's a killer on my wrist. Like, so bad, and this is like pulling out stitches at the moment. So, I love the way it kind of looks gradient-y when you stand back. It kind of looks like the colors faded together, and I was like, oh, that's so gorgeous, I love it. And let me tell you, this blanket is so squishy because I was using Paintbox yarns. And Paintbox yarns is the best acrylic yarn ever. Hands down. Like, I've tried so many different brands at this point that Paintbox takes the win for me every time. It is amazingly soft. It is super easy to work with. And it's just, they have so many colors too. So yeah, Paintbox yarn. I have no idea of the colors. I lost the ball bands. Anyways, this is what happened when Colin decided he was going to get a hold of it. This should be a thumbnail. Oh my god, I'm going to totally thumbnail this one. Yeah. So, I don't even know where to begin with this. And honestly, I looked at that and I was like, My friend's baby was born 2 days ago on Friday. Which, oh my god, he is so adorable. Oh my god, he's so cute. So cute. Yeah, sorry. I'm having like, I feel like I'm having baby fever right now because I've been seeing babies everywhere. And I'm just like, oh my god, babies. They're so cute. I want one. And then, like in a blink of an eye, all the memories of having 2 children run past in my mind's eye or whatever. And just seeing the poop explosions, the tantrums, the mess, the wild, crazy emotions, the mess. And I'm like, no more babies. But the baby fever is real because all my friends are having babies. I've been seeing babies everywhere. I'm like, what is going on? Babies. So, I'm probably going to frog this, if I can. And try and make her a different blanket. As much as I love the way this one is looking, like I said, it's just, oh, it's so pretty. But it's killing my wrist and it's taking me forever. And I need to get her this blanket like 2 days ago, basically. My feet are falling asleep because I'm cross-legged on the floor. And I am so burpy, I'm sorry. So like I said, that was the Sweet Strauss baby blanket. I can tell you the colorway for the white is Paperweight by Paintbox Yarns. Oh, you know what? This gray is not Paintbox. This is Big Twist, I'm trying to remember. Big Twist Chunky Acrylic. In the, I want to say stone, but I know that's not right. And this is the Paintbox Chunky in Midnight Blue. I want to say Midnight Blue. So, oh my god, my feet are tingling. Oh my gosh. I need to like, ever since I was a kid, like it never failed. Every time I sit cross-legged, every time I sit cross-legged, my feet go numb. Even since I was a kid, when I was skinny. Like, always happened. So, that is basically it for Yarny, as in what I've made. Now, I do have an acquisition, which technically I did not buy myself. This is my Mother's Day gift from my husband. I told him, I was like, look, if you want to get me something for Mother's Day, this is what you need to do. I was like, go to the Salty Sheep, which is our local yarn shop. Go and pick 1 to 2 skeins of fingering weight hand-dyed yarn. That's what I want for Mother's Day. That's it. Maybe dinner. And that's it. So that's exactly what he did. And he told me, he's like, I walked in to a store full of a bunch of women and I had no idea what I was doing, and I was filled with anxiety because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was looking for. And I was like, did someone help you? And she's like, yeah, the owner, Peggy, helped me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, I told her who I was and that she's selling your yarn, and she told me that it's doing well, and she picked some yarn for you. I'm like, okay. So, Miss Peggy picked out these two skeins. Probably get the tags out of the way, ding dong. Picked these two skeins for me together. Oh my god. They're beautiful. They kind of remind me of like rusty desert colors, like by a lake. Oh, they're so pretty. So this is the Farmer's Daughter Fibers, made in Montana. Squish fingering, 100% superwash merino, 438 yards, in the colorway Meet Me Tonight in Atlantic City. So stinking pretty. Like, look at that. Oh my god. To die for. Like, I would never think of these colors ever in a million years to go together. But they look so good together. And then this one, same brand, Farmer's Daughter. It says 1952. So it makes me wonder if that's the year that she was born. I assume it's a she. I don't know. This one's also squish fingering, same base, same everything. But this one is Heartbreak Hotel. Holy cow. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. So yeah, those are my acquisitions. I have really cut back on buying yarn. Oh wait, no, I lie. I bought some more yarn. Which is, let me grab it real quick. Ow. My back hit the wall. Okay. So, I flashed one of the patterns that I had been working on for a while, which was a cowl, and I needed different yarn because it was issues. If you want to know about the issues, you can go and watch last episode. So, I had to buy more of said yarn that was in the green because I really liked the green. So, I had to buy 2 colors to go with it. And this is Cascade Farms Anchor Bay, which is 50% cotton, 50% superwash merino. Let me tell you guys, this yarn has such amazing stitch definition. It is soft. Like, you wouldn't feel this and think, oh, that's cotton. Like, it kind of has a little bit of a cottony feel, but it's like, you're like, that's too soft to be cotton, which is where the merino comes in. But the stitch definition of the cotton, oh my god, is amazing. So I got 2 different colors for the cowl. And I'm probably going to make it in another set of colors. And I was figuring a blue, gray, and like, I have no idea what these colors are. I wish they would put their colorway names. So I got these 2 to go with the green, and then these 3 to make a blue-gray version of it. So that was pretty much it. That was my only acquisition that I got. So yeah. Next up, let me just move that so I can put my feet straight so they aren't like killing me. Next up would be shop update. I just did some self-striping, like I said from the last podcast, that I really wanted to try self-striping. And for the most part, it looked like it worked. For the most part, I would say it worked. I don't know how long the stripes are. I definitely think they're longer than micro stripes, but I could be wrong. Let me grab them. So I did 5 new colorways in self-striping, which I will show you. First up is Carnival Nights, which was supposed to be more like a really dark pink, orange, and teal, but it ended up being more like red. Oh, I'm like basically showing you the tag. So that is Carnival Nights. And then what says summer like sunflowers? Like sunflowers, first off, just everything, sun, sunflower, heat, summer, right? But also, when I think of sunflowers, I think of sunflower seeds. I think of baseball games, which always are like during summer, you know, stuff like that. So this is self-striping in the sunflower colorway. I don't know why, but it totally reminds me of like straight up 70s colors. I don't know why. The next one, because flowers are in full bloom right now, geranium, which is this amazing pink, purple, and like almost like sky baby blue, powder blue. I don't know. So let me put it in front of my face. There we go. Oh, there we go. So that is geranium. This one is probably this one and Ocean Shores is my favorite. They're so light and just beautiful. So this one has like a tealy, well no, I wouldn't say teal. Like an aqua-y, oceany blue with some sandy beach colors and white. Beautiful Ocean Shores. Last but not least, which is the one I was a little peeved with. Like, there was supposed to be a pinkish red for Carnival Nights. It came out more red, which is fine. No big deal. But this one I'm a little with because it was really supposed to be like hot pink. Turned out more red than expecting. Now looks like a Christmas colorway. But this is Watermelon Splash, which is red, white, and green, which is supposed to be a hot pink, green and white, with speckles of black and yellow. This is the only one that has speckling on it. The rest are just straight, normal stripes. So this is the Watermelon Splash, which someone even wrote when I posted it on Instagram. I think it was yesterday. They were like, this would be perfect for Christmas. And I'm like, no, that was not what I was going for. But it could totally work for Christmas. So that was pretty much it for shop update. I have those up in the shop if you guys are interested. They are technically $1 more. So they're $29 because the process to make these were a pain in the butt. Let me tell you. First off, the skeins are obviously longer than typical. So while I'm dyeing, I have to like super make sure that I don't drop it on the floor. And then when winding the skeins, I literally had to get chairs from my kitchen, put them on each end, so when I go to wrap it into a normal size skein for you guys, I had to put it on chairs, wrap it around. I was literally walking back and forth. Like, you know in those old cartoons when you see someone pacing the floor, eventually, like, they start digging themselves into the ground? That's how I felt. But mine was just back and forth in my kitchen, like from chair to chair to unwrap it so it wouldn't pop the rest of the yarn off the end. So yeah, it's $1 more because it is a little bit more frustrating. But other than that, I really like the way they came out. I want to order some more of the yarn that I used for it because I really want to dye up, I guess, like samples of them. Because I kind of want to make sure that the stripes look good. Because if they don't, that's going to be really frustrating. Because then they would just be like really long variegated yarns. So yeah, now we're into life stuff, which normally I would share like what I'm reading or something like that, but lately I have not been reading because I've been busy with homeschooling. So before I went, like as I was going on a tangent earlier, since I have been diagnosed with the gluten intolerance and trying to change up my diet, which has been a struggle in itself, and there are so many days where I knew I shouldn't have eaten something, but it just looked so good, and I did, and I regretted it literally sometimes within hours, sometimes 2 days. It was horrendous. But I can officially say I have been gluten-free for a week and a half now. With like nothing, not even like a bite, not even a crumb. Because that was like how I was getting through at first. I was like, well, if I just take a bite, I should be okay. No, girlfriend. Which, you know, I know people with gluten intolerances would look at me and they're like, you're the problem. No one takes this seriously. Which I probably am. But you know what? I love food and I love bread. Like, we love bread in my house so much that when we used to go to the store and they had fresh baked bread, like French bread, like the big baguettes or whatever, we would literally grab one, eat it while we were grocery shopping, obviously pay for it, but we would eat it while we grocery shopped, or we would buy two, eat one in the store, go home, and eat that for the next 2 days because we love bread so much. Pasta, yeah, but I'm a sucker for ramen. That's my issue. But anyways, before I got diagnosed, I felt like crap all the time. And I'm sure if you go back and watch some of my podcasts, I will seem so out of it. So out of it. And even I've gone back and watched them and I'm like, wow, seeing how bad I felt, like you could visually see like my brain not registering things. Like I would just like space off for a second because my, like, one of the big symptoms is brain fog. So it's hard for you to remember what you were going to say. It's hard for you to come across what you're saying. Sometimes you'll start mid-sentence and you'll just be like, what was I saying? I don't remember what? So that was a big issue. Not only that, it can also trigger depression. If you have depression, it can make it worse. Same with anxiety. Also joint pains. My big struggle was joint pains. And you guys even heard me complain that my hands hurt. And my back used to hurt all the time. Like, to the point where a 25-year-old should not be having back pain as bad as I was having. But it was because it was an immune response to the gluten. So basically, I was feeling like utter crap before I got diagnosed. And homeschooling was going really rough. So that was hard. Because I felt like I was failing Emma, and we got really off schedule for about 3 months, and basically we were making up for those 3 months over summer, and trying to get the kids on a routine, because before I was just so out of it that I really didn't care. So trying to fix things this past like month or two has been main agenda. And that in itself has been hard. Trying to get the kids on a nighttime schedule. Oh my gosh, guys. Like, that in itself could put me in an early grave. Because these kids are wild. They love running around. They love just being busy and beastly. But because I also felt like crap, I was also feeding them crap. So they ended up eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of candies and juices, and just anything to get them to just leave me alone because I felt like crap. So when we would go to the store, trying to get them to be good in the store was a nightmare. So I would bribe them with candy. Terrible tactic. And if you do this, you'll find out soon enough it's a terrible tactic. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But don't do candy. Do like a small toy or a freaking small bag of chips. Like anything is better than candy. I have learned this. My kids have been off sugar for about a month. And even they still get some every once in a while. But like to the point where I cut out juices. The only thing they get to drink now is water and almond milk. That's all. That's it. I've cut out juices. I've cut out fruit snacks. I've cut out so much stuff that has the added sugar because it was just, they were so hyper that they didn't know what to do with themselves. And when they got to that point, it became a point where they were fighting with each other a lot. They were like, Colin would destroy things. They would yell at each other. It was just so bad. And trying to get them to go to sleep when they're jacked up on sugar was a nightmare. So, and I've noticed since cutting the sugar basically, like they still get crappy snacks occasionally, like mainly chips. But chips go so quick in our house that I don't have to worry about them eating it for so long. So, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I am far from it. But I've just noticed such a huge improvement in that. Like behavior-wise, cutting out sugar. It's made a huge difference. And because of that, like the only sugar they get now is fruits, which I buy a crap ton of fruits, but anyways. Because we got so far behind, I've been trying to pick up the pieces and, you know, put it together. I had like a big major meltdown with Nick about how I feel all these responsibilities and I feel like I'm failing. And, you know, I feel like every mom goes through that from time to time where it just feels like so much, there's so much weight on your shoulders as a mom and running a house, and with me running a business and homeschooling, like being a mom in itself is hard. But I'm also trying to run a business. I'm also homeschooling. I want to go back to school and have to take care of 2 kids and clean and make sure the animals are taken care of, and vet visits and dentists and doctors. So it's a lot to handle. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. And sometimes you break from that weight. And that was what happened to me. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have my days where I can go and I can conquer the world, and then there are days where I feel like I can't even get out of bed. So, if you're there, you're okay. You're normal. It happens. You'll get through it. But sometimes you just need that person to say, you know what? It sucks. I get it. But you will get through. So, I've been picking up the pieces of my life, basically. Got all heavy there for a minute. So, yeah. And trying to get Emma back into homeschooling. And now that we're coming to the end of this school year, even though we are still working on it, as much as I felt like I was failing her, she is doing so well in like math and sciencey things. Like her brain just gets it. Letters, we're struggling a bit, but I was reading statistic-wise that kids really don't understand the concept of reading until about 7, 8-ish. Even 9 sometimes, where they're looking at letters and hearing sounds and actually like their brain working and saying, oh, that goes together, instead of just memory. It's more of like a cognitive process, I guess. I don't know. I could be saying that completely wrong. So I'm trying not to stress about the letters. She will learn her letters, and I have to tell myself that. She's gonna learn her letters. She's gonna learn to read. May not be as fast as I hoped, or what the state says she should be reading at, or what a teacher may say she should be reading at, but she'll get there eventually. So, and I was a slow learner when it came to reading. My dad actually used to make me sit and read like presidential books, like presidential kids' history books, out loud in the kitchen while he made dinner. So So I was a struggling reader. My sister struggled to read. Everyone basically struggled to read in my family. So I'm trying not to stress it. But anyways, other than that, trying to plan for new homeschooling, which homeschooling has been like my life, basically. So that's basically what's been going on in life is homeschooling stuff. Trying to finish up this year while planning next year, which I have a set curriculum this year. This kindergarten year, I was like, oh, it's kindergarten. They don't need a curriculum. Like, whatever. But then I felt lost because I didn't have anything to fall back on. So this year, I have a set curriculum that I'm going to stick to. So planning that out. But other than that, I've been playing Sims a lot again. I love Sims. Oh my god, I love it. So if you play Sims through Origin, EA, online, you can add me. I believe my username is HollyBB18, which is HOLLY BBY 18. I know. I was like 16, 17 when I made my account, and I was like, HollyBaby18. I'm so cute. Anyways. I've bought a lot of books on thrift books, which I'm waiting for them to come in the mail. Most of them are kids' books for her curriculum. Homeschooling, again. Hey, I homeschool. Welcome to the Homeschool Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. But also some, like, parenting books, some herbal remedy books, like random how-to self-help garbage. I'm not a fan of self-help books. I find them boring to read. But even when it is a topic that I'm interested in, I will read it even if I find it boring, and it takes me like 4 months to read it because it is boring. I don't know. Self-help books are not my thing. Like, me and my sister are complete opposites. She loves all the self-help books. Me, I'm like, give me all the novels of fantasy and fiction and fun, supernatural mumbo-jumbo, and I will read that stuff like that. Self-help books take me a while. But, so yeah. That's about it. I felt like this time around I should do a proper podcast. Sit down, look cute, and actually film it and have things to say to you guys, because I feel like the last couple of times I'm like, I don't know what to say. I ran out of topics. Oh. So, yeah. And I'm sitting on the floor because my husband stole my chair. So, at this point, I am just repeating myself. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And if no one's told you, you're doing a great job. So, I will see you guys when I see you. I don't know when, because I suck at scheduling at this point. Hopefully, since I'm getting my life, picking up the pieces of my life and smushing them together, hopefully I will come up with a more stable schedule to podcast as well. I'm trying to just schedule my life away and bring order to my chaos, because I am a Gemini and we like to free float around and just let us go where the wind takes us. But I am a Taurus moon and I really need some stability as well, so trying to find the happy medium of those two is really hard. So, I will see you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful week. And like I said, if no one's told you, you're doing a great job. Bye!